Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the AI Edge podcast. We're here to help marketing and advertising professionals stay on the cutting edge of news and AI for our industry. So here we are, really special episode today. Before I get to our guests, a couple of quick notes for the audience. So first of all, we will be at Marketecture Live in New York City on March 11th. And we're going to be running a session on agentic commerce, which I'm really excited about. So Myles will be there alongside one of our AI experts, teaching the awesome Marketecture attendees about all things agentic commerce, how it's changing the funnel, etc. So please sign up for that. Our promo code is U of D30 if you haven't bought your ticket yet for 30% off Marketecture tickets. You still have time. And then also we are starting our March cohort of our AI Accelerator next week, which I'm really pumped about. And that is going to be awesome. We have tons of great attendees. We're pretty much sold out at this point. Yahoo DSP is a sponsor. We keep evolving the content of the Accelerator. So a lot of new things coming up in this one around agents, new workflows. We're kind of leveling everything up because everyone's getting smarter about AI, which we love to see. So those are the housekeeping notes. And with that, I want to introduce the guest of the week. So first of all, we have an extremely special guest this week. Her name is Tameka Kee, and she's not only a guest, she's also kind of part of the family. So Tameka, I'll turn it over to you. Can you do a quick intro for everybody?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm so excited. Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Tameka Kee, and I am U of Digital's head of AI enablement and strategy. I've known Myles and Shiv for years and have collaborated with Myles and Shiv for years, and the opportunity to help our industry understand how to use AI to keep their jobs and actually do their jobs even better was something that I could not pass up. So I'm really excited to be part of the team, to collaborate with these guys and the rest of our team to bring AI education to the masses in our industry. My background is I'm an ad tech nerd. I've been in the space for 20 years, which is kind of a crazy number. I started out as a reporter covering paid search, so feeling a ton of full circleness with AEO and GEO now and how that's changing everything. But I started out as a reporter, worked in content marketing for a number of SSPs on the publisher side, Rubicon Project for Life. Magnite is a whole new company, I know. But most recently, I was the SVP of Programming and Operations at SIM, which is a Coalition for Innovative Media Measurement, very focused on improving and research around video and CTV measurement. And it was a nice diversion from ad tech for a while. So now I have like the TV brain and the ad tech brain along with the AI nerd brain. And that's what I'm bringing to our customers.
I love it. Bring it all. Also, we have somebody else here. His name's Myles. Hey, Myles.
Hey. And also, for anybody listening or watching, a lot of you probably know Tameka. She works with us now. If you want to talk to her about AI enablement, AI literacy, reach out, please. You know her. You know she's amazing. She's working with U of Digital now, and we want to work with you. So do that.
All right, let's get into it, guys. So our first ever guest from inside the house. Let's do this. I'm pumped.
The call's coming from inside the house.
It's coming from inside the house. Okay, so top stories of the week. First one I want to talk about, great actually segue from the agentic commerce session you're doing at Marketecture, Myles, which is Meta introduces, they introduced basically a shopping research tool in their LLM, in their AI chatbot. Guys, full disclosure, I didn't know that Meta had some consumer-facing AI thing anyways. Where is it? What do I do with it? Do I go ask it what my grandma posted on Facebook? What is Meta's AI tool? But anyways, I digress. Maybe you guys can answer that for me in a second. Quick details about the story. First is they're basically going to surface carousels of images and prices and product descriptions if people have questions about products, right? Or doing some kind of shopping or discovery, just like what ChatGPT is offering now and Gemini is offering now. So it's very much modeled after those LLMs. They're coming after them, but through the Meta AI tool. Also, very interesting quote by Zuck in the earnings when he talked about this tool. He said, only products in our catalog will be surfaced in this tool. And if you kind of just extrapolate what that means, products in the catalog are basically advertisers, right? That use Meta's ad products, and their products are being surfaced through like PLAs, right? Meta's PLAs or shopping ads.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the extrapolation, at least I made, and I think some of the reporting folks made as well. So that's the story. There's a lot to unpack here. Tameka, let's start with you. What do you make of this? Also, can you explain to me what the heck is Meta's AI, please? Like, what is it? Do you know?
No, I can't because I don't use Meta products. Actually, I use WhatsApp. So sadly, I tried to get off the Meta fire hose for a long time. I got off IG before the election last year for my mental health, and so I actually so no, I can't tell you. The first thing that came to mind though is how many of those advertisers are real? Because Meta has a huge problem from an IG standpoint with fake brands that are like sketchy drop shippers. So I don't know if you guys have seen like these weird mugs. There were like these crystal mugs that were going all along social media last year. I do use Reddit, so that's how I know about this. But there's these weird crystal mugs that were going around. There's all of these. So there's this really big problem with drop shippers on IG, where essentially they clone images from real brand accounts and then set up shops, set up carousels with using Facebook ads, and then get people to buy products, and then they get the product, and the product is not a good product. It's like a shell of what it was. So like imagine you're ordering a really gorgeous leather jacket or a beautiful sweater, and you get it, and it's actually a t-shirt with the screen print of the sweater on it. So that's a big thing that's happening in Meta. And there were some earnings, I want to say it was maybe 2 quarters ago, where they were like, yeah, we know a certain percent of our advertisers are fake. Yeah. And instead of getting them out of our platform, we just charge them more. So my question, immediately the question that I go to is, how many of the ads in this catalog are actually going to be real? How many of the products in these catalogs that are going to show up in the chat apps are actually going to be shady products or real products? And is it just going to exacerbate that problem? I don't know if that's the answer you were expecting, Shiv, but that's where my head went.
I like it. Myles, what do you think?
Yeah, there's a real trust problem there. Like, Tameka, I like that you're going at it from the angle of like an existing phenomenon, which is sketchy drop shippers. That has been a thing for many years, and it's a big problem. A lot of the AI trust, discourse focuses on trust in AI systems specifically. It's like, well, in this case, you can kind of see a sketchy segment of advertisers using AI as a lever to become even more sketchy. And so you could definitely foresee kind of a vicious cycle here where trust in maybe this AI chatbot, the other platforms too, it's not just Meta, could just fall off a cliff because you've got a fake chatbot pushing fake products, and the whole thing is, Zuck wants to make it fully automated, so like there's no, you can't unplug the machine, and so I think that could potentially be a real problem. The thing I was going to say before I pause is, we're always trying to think about takeaways for marketers. Probably a big opportunity in building a brand around being genuine and legitimate.
Authentic. Like we are legit. Yeah. We are not AI slop. We are not a drop shipper, right? And like that. Yeah, Myles, I think
that's really interesting because it's like there's content slop. We talk a lot about AI content slop.
Yeah.
There's now going to start being AI product slop.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. You know? Okay, so here's where I wanted to go, guys, because I like, I think about money and ads too much. But here's where I was gonna, and actually, it actually ties really nicely to what you guys are talking about, which is, let's pull on the thread of trust. Like, we always are talking about, okay, how are the AIs going to monetize with ads? And this is, like a way to do it, right? Of course, at some point, they're probably going to just inject meta ads into the LLM, of course, right? But the fact that Zuck is saying, hey, we're only going to surface products from people that already advertise on Meta is a way to basically monetize AI indirectly, right? And eventually he'll do it directly, right? And so, and I think like back to the point about trust is, ChatGPT, Google, etc., they're all saying how like, hey, we're going to keep the organic results separate. The product recommendations, everything is going to be separate. And then the ads are going to be separate, right? Separation of church and state, clear labeling. I mean, Zuck's already kind of saying, I don't
like,
care
nope.
about that in a way, right? Like
Yeah.
he's like, hey, this is a pay to play product recommendation AI tool. That's basically what he's saying. Would you agree?
Yes, and I think it's going to be so effective and ruthless, right? Like the thing with I haven't been on IG for a year and a half or 2 years, and the thing with Instagram in particular is it knows you so well. Whether it serves you fake products or real ones, it knows the products that you're going to want. And so now if you add kind of that AI personalization layer, it's probably going to be one of the most effective product recommendation engines that there are in our industry. Shiv, you brought up a good point. I wonder if it'll be interesting to see if I mean, how can Google keep church and state separate? They already are showing some product results in the AI snippets.
Yep.
And so maybe it just needs to be labeled. Is that just it? Like sponsored, paid for?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to mess with user trust. And, it's interesting to think about IG too, because like Sam Altman has continuously cited Instagram as the beacon of, hey, this is ads done well. This is perfect kind of UX, UI for advertising, kind of melded with a consumer facing product. And it's interesting if like, Meta will look at that and be inspired to kind of use that to make their AI also awesome. I suspect no, because I think Meta bought IG, and you could argue the UI has gotten worse since they bought it, and it used to be cleaner and better. That being said, like if you look at the flagship kind of big blue product, the UI sucks, right? The UI sucks. The AI, I don't even know where the AI is, and so like I don't have any faith that it's going to be this incredible experience with ads. I don't know. We'll see.
That's interesting. So you were saying Meta as specifically the big blue product when I thought it was like across all of the properties, but
well, I mean, listen, my like very basic understanding of Meta's AI is like now when I go into WhatsApp, there's a little AI button and I can use it to talk to it and ask it questions. If I go into the big blue app, there's a little AI thing, right, where I can start. I've never used it. I've never asked it anything. Again, I'm like the way I wouldn't think of going into Facebook and start using the AI tool to ask about products. But listen, some people use Facebook Marketplace a lot, right? And maybe that's an interesting on-ramp to shopping and Meta. Listen, I just don't use it enough, and I'm sure there are people out there that have all sorts of
Tameka's point, if anybody can break AI and LLMs out of the like Dullsville chat window thing that we've been stuck in now for like over 3 years, it's Mark Zuckerberg. He will figure out how to make this genuinely sort of entertaining and addictive for people. Whereas those chat windows, sticky. Whereas the existing products, which probably also sounds like Meta's AI products, I don't use them. It's just another chat window. That's all anybody's offering. Is here, use our chat. Okay.
Yeah, ask it questions. It processes natural language.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, this was cool 3 years ago. It ain't that cool anymore. Okay. Let's move to the next story. So this one was interesting as well. So OpenAI has partnered with Criteo to inject ads into ChatGPT. So, obviously we've been talking about ChatGPT ads now for a month or so. ChatGPT was going at it on their own. And now all of a sudden they're partnering with a big ad tech company, a commerce media ad tech company that has tons and tons of demand from retailers and brands to sell products using ads, dynamic ads. And so I thought it was fascinating on a number of different levels. One is they picked Criteo, not necessarily like a big, huge kind of player. They are pretty big, but they're not like, Google or, some other company. They're not. And apparently there's a rumor that they're also talking to the Trade Desk about a similar partnership. The other angle here is like, they're partnering, not building or buying, right? And obviously they're probably building things internally too. Maybe they're going to consider buying one of these companies, but there's a bunch of different angles here. So I want to start on this one. I want to start, Myles, with you. Any initial thoughts on this? Like, what's the strategy? Why are they going down this path? What does it mean for marketers?
I mean, you used to work for Criteo, so you know
I
you
did.
know a lot more
Right.
about that company than I do.
Yeah, I do.
You know, I am, of course, imagining getting like, the Octobox ads in my
Yeah.
chat. I don't,
Yeah.
that's not what they're gonna do. But
I hope not.
yeah, I mean, I am usually in favor of companies partnering versus building in-house tech on this. Like Criteo is very well established, has a huge, network of retailers and merchants that they work with, and so it seems smart on that front. As far as like the details, I just don't know enough about Criteo. I gotta admit, but I mean, it's just like OpenAI's gotta make shopping work somehow. Like
Yeah.
the retail media component, the commerce media component of this is one of the most obvious paths to monetization through advertising, paid promotion, whatever you want to call it, sponsored inclusion. Um, um, and so this seems like a really natural move versus spend another whatever uh X number of years, quarters building out their own in-house Criteo clone. Why not just work
Yeah.
with Criteo? Just work with them. I mean, we kind of saw this with OpenAI a couple of, what was that, months ago, weeks ago? It's hard to tell with OpenAI. They have a very fast pace of announcements. When they rolled out their ads, that $60 CPM thing, and everybody's griping about how, oh, why isn't it performance based? I think Shiv, you and I were riffing on this of like, no, just rip the Band-Aid off and launch a product. Don't worry about making it perfect today. Just get it out there because everybody's been ragging on them because they've been dragging their feet up until now. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And it also ties
rant
back
over.
to it also ties back. I mean, Meta doesn't have to partner with Criteo because they already have a massive advertiser base, right?
You're
And
right.
so
It,
and so if ChatGPT wants to compete with
yeah,
Google and Meta
right.
on the ads front, which now they are competing with them, they have an ads product, they
Yeah,
got to accelerate it, right? So
yeah.
working with a Criteo makes sense. Tameka, what do you think?
I think it's harder to make good ad tech than it seems, right?
Hmm.
We've been in ad tech for a long time. We're like, oh my God, new product, new service, whatever. It's full of shit. But it's harder to make good ad tech that makes advertisers feel safe, that plugs into all of the existing agency trading platforms,
Yep.
that plugs into both the buy side and the sell side. And OpenAI has more money than exists on our planet right now, I guess. That still doesn't mean that it's easy to make good
Yep.
ad tech. And so maybe this is first partnership before they buy Criteo, who knows? And so to me, it was like, I mean, like, look at Netflix. Netflix was the perfect example of amazing audience, premium product, and they still had to partner with a company to launch their ad product
Yep.
because the pipes, it's hard to
Yep.
build pipes and it's complex. So to me, this is super smart. This also brings to mind a couple of previous episodes on the podcast when you were talking about, I think it was with Disney, when OpenAI did the licensing deal with Disney's data.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's also about the data that Criteo has access to.
Hmm.
These OpenAI needs so much data. It can only crawl the open web for so long before the data about the products and the services and the commerce sort of needs to be ingested. And so I think
Yeah.
this is as much a pipes play as it is also a data play, and it seems
Yeah.
really smart to me.
Tameka, I really love the point. Well, you're making me think like, yeah, Chat GPT doesn't have offsite tracking. Like once you leave Chat GPT, they don't know what you're doing.
No.
They
Yeah.
have no idea what you're doing with the rest of your day, which apps you're using, which sites you're going to, whereas that's been Criteo's business for a long time
And
to
that's
know
been
it.
one of the gripes with ChatGPT's new ad pilot is like, no
Yeah,
measurement. Where's the
right.
measurement? And so that makes a lot of sense. A couple of other angles I will add to what you guys said. One is they're under tremendous shareholder pressure, right? And so, and tremendous pressure to just raise money and not burn it all into the atmosphere. And they have to accelerate revenue, and so partnering with Criteo is just an immediate demand spigot. So, like Tameka, you said the tech. I'm going to just say the dollars, right? Turn it on, let the dollars start flowing, and they can tell a better ad story quicker to raise
Yep.
money. right? So that's one thing. And actually, there was a funny kind of Twitter exchange happening between like Eric Franchi and Eric Seufert this morning that I jumped in on, and those guys were debating. They're really smart guys. They're debating like, why would they do it like this? Like, this seems uninformed. I think Antonio Garcia jumped in too, and he was like, "Oh, I think this is really misinformed that they would partner with Criteo. Like, I did this when I was at Meta." And they're talking about really smart kind of things about like the strategy. And I'm not tooting my own horn or anything, but I like jumped in and I was like, guys, I think it's pretty simple. They need money as soon as possible, and so maybe they're being strategic as secondary and tertiary kind of goals, but they need money as soon as possible. And so just to turn the spigot on and be like, hey, here's inventory, ad tech companies, bring us demand, like makes a lot of sense. And then it's a way for them to test and grow it and figure it out without like, just slow playing the money part of it. Right. So I think that's a big angle.
So I think the takeaway for marketers from this is that companies want your money and companies want your money, but they are willing to I feel like this is also smart from OpenAI's perspective to go, look, we're venturing into this territory. We know that marketers want specific things. We're willing to try to partner to get them. And so I think the takeaway from marketers is if you ask for it, if you demand it, your vendors will give it to you.
Yeah. I like to ask and you shall receive. I will also say like, I don't think this is the long-term strategy. I think they'll partner Criteo, Trade Desk, OpenAI. Like if their ambition is to be the new version of search, they're going to become the next Google, right? And they're going to create their own walled garden. Like they're not going to be an open ecosystem long-term, in my opinion.
I think it's so much harder to do than it's so much easier said than done because,
Totally.
and this goes back to the murder board on my wall that I was thinking about, right? To become the next Google, you have to be integrated in people's lives in a very specific way that ChatGPT isn't yet. Google I took a trip recently. Well, I took a trip last year, right? I went to Vietnam. I used Google Maps. I used Google Wallet. I used Chrome. I used Google Translate. I used Gemini to be a trip planner. I used email. I watched YouTube. That is the best ecosystem ever to monetize. ChatGPT can't. Am I going to use ChatGPT email? No, not going to do it. Right. And so I think I think it's
they have to have like mass consumer adoption to justify becoming a walled garden, right? Like every company starts this way. Meta started by having the Facebook exchange. Do you guys remember that? Where it's like, hey, the way we're going to monetize, we're going to open our ads up to all these ad tech companies.
Yes.
FBX.
FBX, yes. And then there was like, Netflix, what they did initially, or even Walmart. Walmart's like, hey, you just get it all through the Trade Desk. Companies have to get to enough critical mass of consumers to justify like, hey, our ad business is not going anywhere. It is formidable. It is a must buy. We're putting up the walls.
Well,
right?
and Google has had 25 years to get there. Facebook has now had 20. ChatGPT is still only like 3 years old. And so back to I think the point we're all sharing here, the opinion we're all sharing here is like, partner with Criteo right now. Like, don't delude to your point, Tameka, don't delude yourself that you're going to suddenly make up for 25 years of innovation and product stickiness and utility overnight. Like that can be the goal, that can be the aspiration. But if you ain't there, just be honest with yourself and find somebody to partner with sooner.
And I bet you they're going to buy him.
Ooh, all right.
All right. I bet Criteo badly wants to be bought by them. So, and sorry, Antonio Garcia, if you're listening, I do disagree with what you said. I think it's actually smart. But you're a very smart person. You're extremely smart. You're smarter than I am. Okay, let's go to the next section. Really quick hits on other interesting news from the past week. So, this is going to be the new format, guys, of the podcast. I'm going to go through them quickly. If you want to say something about it, you have to interrupt me and jump in and say, oh, wait, I'm not going to call on you. Okay. Okay. So, first quick hit of the week. I actually think this is we could probably spend a bunch of time talking about this. We might. Stagwell, big, agency holding company in their own right. Basically there was news that they're building their own GEO platform, and, a bunch of agencies are talking about how they're vibe coding GEO platforms in hours using Claude Code. Meanwhile, last week we talked about how Profound, a GEO tech platform, raised $100 million at $1 billion valuation. It's not quite adding up. Agencies vibe coding GEO platforms, company raising $100 million at $1 billion valuation for a GEO platform. What's going on here? What's the right answer?
I'm afraid to open my mouth. We
No, just
really
do it.
will talk
Our
about
job
this
is to open our mouth here, Myles.
talk about this forever. I don't know. The whole vibe coding thing is like just turned everything upside down temporarily because it's kind of impossible to know at this point who's really right. Is it now actually possible to replicate an enterprise product in-house and support it, or is this just Stagwell doing press? I worked for an agency. We touted a lot of stuff that was like not fully real. That's part of the business that you're in. You're literally not a tech company. So you have a lot more latitude in what you can say to the market as to what your capabilities are. Um, on the other hand, I think we talked about this on the last episode, is like what's the end game with AI search?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I don't
What do you
think
think?
there's an end game, right? I think it's very to sound like every other sort of person on a panel. I think it's too early to say what is happening with AI search. It is evolving so rapid. Is it AIO? Is it GEO? Is it AIO? Is it so it's evolving so rapidly. And the models change so quickly that anything that you kind of create can possibly become obsolete. So I mean, I just feel like it's too early, and I feel like everybody's trying to test and learn. I think it's good for the agencies to do this because just like every other innovation, there's going to be 50 vendors trying to sell in their solution. So they're like,
Yep,
let's see if we could build this. Can I
right.
build a solution that does what Bluefish or Profound or Evertune or any of these people do? Can I do something that does just what they do? I also think it may just be a space of build and buy, right? Like, well, agencies also do have their own tools in house, and they also use external partners tools. I think it's too early to say, oh, this was stupid or this was a win or not. I just think it makes it easier for everybody to try to build their own shit. But
Tameka,
I also come
oh,
back to the first thing I said, and that is that it is hard to build good ad tech. It is hard to build ad tech that brands want to invest their money in. Because the sea
Tameka,
of dead ad tech companies shows everybody who tried to do it can't always get the money.
do you have any sense, does your instinct tell you anything about like why Stagwell, and I think it was a couple of other agencies, Shiv,
Yeah.
would go to reporters with this story? I would be curious how the story originated. It just seems like an odd story to write. Everybody's vibe coding everything. Why pick on AI search specifically? Why not pick on a million other ad tech, martech, or software categories?
So to me, it's because search is still search is a fundamental signal in so many things, particularly from a measurement standpoint, right? Search is like all the MMMs and MTA models sort of weight search very heavily in terms of determining an outcome. And so
Hmm.
I think this is also agencies trying to skate to where the puck is in that vein and trying to be like, I think agencies see that figuring out how to measure AI search
Hmm.
is an important part of what they need to do moving forward.
Yeah.
And so I think it also goes to your point. It's signaling, it's virtue signaling. It's not like, oh my God, we've cracked the code, is that we're trying to do this to me.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
and
I
agencies are trying to figure out their value prop right now around AI. So that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go back to the analogy I always make to good old traditional search, right? Agencies owned SEO. And so
Exactly.
they're like, wait, hold on. What are these new unicorns that are encroaching on our territory? We own search. We don't care
Yeah.
whether it's AI search or traditional search. And so maybe that's the land grab that's
Mm-hmm.
going on. And it's
Mm-hmm.
happening now in PR land. The other thing I'll say is um, what was I going to say? I was going to say something else about, oh, guys, because like we're podcasters now, so we have to like actually make bets and predict things. Here's my prediction. I don't know if you guys have a prediction. I don't know if these. The more I think about it, the more I talk about it, like, I just make the analogy back to SEO. I don't know if GEO platforms are going to stick, right? Like, I just don't. I don't know. It feels like it'll just end up fraying into a cottage industry of service people and vibe coded apps and things like that. Partly because of what we just talked about, right? It's political in nature, partly because the politics will come from the LLMs themselves, right? Where they put up the walls, they don't share signals. And so how much can a tech company actually extract, value out of it? That's my prediction. I don't know. I don't know if I believe in the tech angle of GEO. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
if I'm sure AI search companies have many advantages, but
Yeah.
one of the ones they do have right now, if you're whatever, putting on your unicorn founder hat or your VC hat, is like which companies outside of the big LLMs, so outside of OpenAI, outside of Anthropic, et cetera, outside of Google, are going to have the best insight into what are the hot consumer use cases in LLMs. It's going to be these AI search companies because they're the ones doing the most work to mine through what are consumer perceptions, what are the consumer interactions on these platforms. And so those companies are in somewhat of a privileged position to use AI search as a pretext for whatever the next thing they're going to do is. That everybody else is going to be still kind of groping in the dark as to how LLMs work and what people's
Mm-hmm.
relationships with them are.
Mm-hmm.
And these companies will be able to peek around the corner a bit better. As to what they do with that superpower, as Tameka said, too early to say. I don't know.
Okay, let's go to the next quick hit. That wasn't a quick hit, by the way. That was
No,
just
that
a
was a very long
top
hit.
story. Sorry,
It's
guys.
meander.
Sorry.
was
Okay,
meander.
next, let's try to make this one quick. Gartner predicts half of agency AI. I mean, this is the same story. Gartner predicts half of
This one is
agency
the same.
AI platforms will be obsolete by 2029. And it's kind of the inverse, right? Of just like, okay, well, Horizon has Blue, Publicis has Open, WPP has something, I forget what it's called. All the agencies are AI companies and have AI tech. But if you actually, peel it back, like a lot of their tech is just built on top of LLMs. A lot of people can actually just get to the same outcomes by using a traditional LLM or maybe another piece of AI tech. And so Gartner's like, hey, these AI tools, they're just temporary. They're not going to be around for a long time.
Who listens to Gartner anymore? Is Gartner going to be obsolete in 2029? That's the question we should ask.
That's
who listens
harsh.
to
That is harsh,
fired.
Tameka.
I mean, honestly,
Shots fired.
Sorry, I'm
That's
sorry.
a low blow.
But sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm just kind of like, really, what are you saying? What are you saying? I don't think obsolete. I think anything will be obsolete. At this point, where we are in our industry, anything will be obsolete in 2029.
Yeah.
I think that when we come back to brands and marketers, right? Marketers are cagey about their data. They're cagey about their audience. They're cagey about trust. Maybe this episode is all about trust. I think that agencies working on behalf of their brand partners have a certain amount of trust. And if I'm Shiv, we did a call with a marketer the other day, right? I'm not going to say who the marketer was. They mentioned that they had an agency that helped them with their AEO and GEO, for example, right? And because they leaned on them because they could not figure it out in-house themselves. Agencies will continue to provide value for marketers. They need to be seen as sort of evolving and doing it well. And so I think that their platforms will evolve. Do I think that WPP Open will look the same way that it does in 2029? Probably not, but I think they will always have some semblance of an internal dashboard that lets them look at and connect all the various pipes and platforms that they have to use to manage their client's business.
Okay. I like that. I'm into that. I agree. Who cares what Gartner says?
Sorry, Gartner, if you're listening. Sorry.
Man, I'm hopeful that a lot of people are not listening to our podcast because, man, we really take a lot of swings. Okay. Last quick hit, really quick. Google patented a system. There's no announcement or anything. There was a patent filed that basically replaces brand landing pages with AI generated landing pages that are personalized for a user. And like this, I mean, I think this is interesting on one hand because, like, yes, obviously this is where we're going. Personalized content, personalized experiences, personalized everything. My social media is already personalized without AI. Like, everything is going to get personalized, right? On the other hand, it's not all that interesting because, yeah, we've been doing this for a long time, right? We've been trying to do. I think AI just accelerates things that we've been trying to do for a long time, and now it makes it maybe a little easier or more doable. But I did think this was an interesting little pickup by the press.
Can we get in the beta? Can
Yeah.
can UFD
need
get
it.
in the beta?
We need
Can
it.
UFD
Yeah.
get in the beta?
We
Yeah.
need it.
Google, can you make our landing pages? I'm going to point out one thing, and is that the platform, the walled garden black boxes, up until this point, have mostly and almost exclusively been manipulating your ads. So like Meta will make ads for you, Google will make ads for you. And so that's all ads that are being shown in their environments. They are going to use AI now as a reason to be like, actually, we're going to need to take control of your site and your app too, because it doesn't convert well. And we need our black box will work better if you just kind of leave the entire thing up to us. So I would, if you're a marketer, I'm sure you won't just like whatever fall for this overnight. But that's where this is headed. Is they want to now take control of your site too.
And they want the measurement, and they want they just put it all in PMax.
Yep.
Just put it all into PMax.
You just exist to do the boring paperwork that Google and Meta did. I'm like, I don't want to take your inventory,
sign
do
the
your
checks.
paperwork, run your payroll. I don't want to do all that boring stuff. Yeah.
Just sign the checks that go to Google and Meta.
Yeah, right.
Okay, Tameka, let's transition a little bit to your work. So tell us about your job. How's your job? What's your new job? Tell us what you're seeing in your job. What do people need to learn about in the industry? You know, you have an interesting new job. Tell us about it.
I love my new job, just so you know. No shots fired at my team on the call right now. I love my new job.
Later, after we hang up, you can
we hang up.
Then
I'm gonna be like, I mean, I did talk about the landing page, but that's a separate conversation. No, you know what's really interesting is this is my dream job, because I sit and think about weird stuff like AI and AI generated products and AI slop and that kind of stuff in real time. One anecdote for like receipts. In 2019, I actually, as part of this group called the LA Ad Martech Group, we hosted a meetup, and it was around deepfakes in ads. And that was in 2019, guys. So I've been talking about this shit for a long time. So this role is just, it is wonderful and it's exciting. I love the fact that I am doing a couple of things. One, I get to talk to both the buy side and the sell side about how their teams are using AI or not, what they're looking for. I feel like, honestly, our job is a little bit of customer therapist, if that makes sense. Like, we're trying to figure out, like, they're like, my team is not using AI. Why are they not? And we're like, because your training sucks. But also, not just because your training sucks, but also because what I've observed in our workshops is, right, like teams start to coalesce and realize, oh, we've got these people using AI in this way over here, and we've got these people using AI in this way over here. And also teams aren't sharing with each other. Like, it's so strange. So it's really great in our workshops to see people be like, oh yeah, well, this is the use case I was using for it. And someone literally from the same company being like, I've never used it that way. So I think that there's the technical sort of hands-on education that we're doing is phenomenal. But there's this higher level of getting people to think about AI and use it together that I think is really valuable. What have I learned? I'd say a couple of things. One, most companies have a spectrum of people using AI. There's like the power users who are like, yes, bro, I'm like in it. I'm coding myself. I'm using N8N. I'm doing it. And then you have people who are like, I don't know how to prompt and I'm uncomfortable, right? Like, and I think that's one of the biggest things is like, so it runs the gamut, and that people really want to use AI, but you have to create a safe space for them to do that. And I really think our training creates that safe space. I think the third thing is that, maybe the third thing that I've learned thus far is that many companies have been mandated to just use AI, and they're throwing money at the problem. Throw that money at us, please. But they don't. Throwing money at the problem doesn't always solve it, right? Like, if you don't have an understanding of your team, and so those are just a couple of things that I've learned.
Yeah, I love it. And then Tameka, you actually your first 2 weeks on the job, you were just a student. right?
Yes.
Like, what was that experience like
Oh
for
my
you?
God.
Like,
I mean, I just love, like, again, this is like our PSA. I loved that. I loved our AI boot camp. It was so, it goes back to what I was saying, like to be able to collaborate with other people, to actually get very hands-on keys with AI in a way that I hadn't been using before. So like I was an AI thinker, if you will. I was thinking about the implications of AI for years, but not an actual AI doer. And I like to say our accelerator accelerates your use of AI, but it literally does. Like in that accelerator, before accelerator, I had not talked to my LLM. I had not talked to my homie Claude. I still prefer typing. I wonder if that's like a generational thing. Like I wonder if the youth like talking to it, the elder millennials, Gen Xers like typing. We'll see. But I spoke to it for the first time. I learned some advanced prompts. And now it's like actively integrated in my workflow in my day to day. And that's one of the best things ever. And again, it's fun to play with AI with other people. I think that's the thing that is, so you don't feel like you're doing something sketch by yourself. Like, oh my God, I'm editing this press release or I'm editing this thing. And it's like seeing other people do it and having these shared light bulb moments is really a thing that is distinct about our workshop. And just so you guys know, you'll be hearing more about these shared light bulb moments because that's going to be in our marketing copy moving forward.
love that. Love it. All right. Well, that's a wrap for today's pod. Thank you, Tameka, for being our guest from inside the house. And I mean, perfect segue. Please buy your ticket for the AI Accelerator. We still have a few spots left. It starts next Monday, so you got to move fast, or this Monday if you're listening on Monday. So move fast. We'll still let you in. Use code procrastinator for 25% off. And then also please attend Marketecture Live and check out Myles on stage talking about agentic commerce and doing some fun training in a very condensed period of time.
Yeah,
thank you. Yes, please come find both Tameka and Myles. And thank you everybody for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.